Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is back above 30k at the moment, but only here on CoinMarketCap. I actually already see that here on Bitstamp we've dropped below 30k again. So it's really that fight around the 30k level that is going on at the moment. A lot of uncertainty in the market. I still have to say that, we've been dropping for round about 6 months into this target area that we've been talking about. We are finally there, and now the work really only starts. I'm watching the charts really closely, and I'm still missing some clear structure in there. So at the moment, I'm waiting really for a signal here of the market, which direction we are going to continue in. So at the moment, it's really this sort of space of uncertainty in which we are in, where for the last 6 months, it was rather clear, highly likely that we get into this yellow target area, which we've been talking about for the last 6 months, which has also happened, right? This year, below 28.7k, below the low of the June, the June dump, below that low, and that is what we did. We did that, or we made that lower low, and now we just need some structure. We need a bit more of the structure to really understand which direction it might now go into. So first of all, my primary expectation remains that we are going to see another dip. A lot of people expect that now. A lot of people now expect, however, a very long bear market. And that's what I read in the comments for the last 6 months. People said, if we really drop below that level, then we have to have below the 30k level, then there will be a very long bear market. And I'm not saying there won't be, but it's just that my primary expectation is that there will be a fairly swift recovery. And the reason is that I see the S&P 500, the Nasdaq recover fairly soon as well. And Bitcoin has been pretty much tied to that, even though I don't like these correlations because they can change and they don't give me any price targets. But nevertheless, I do see a fairly swift recovery in the stock market. And I do also see a fairly swift recovery in the crypto market. But this is, of course, not guaranteed. And the thing is, I always said, it is very hard to forecast timelines. Yeah, so it's really hard. It is possible, absolutely, to forecast price ranges using the Elliott Wave method. That is what we did. That is what worked out here. We came into the target area, but it is very hard to, I don't even know if it's, it's very hard and very uncertain to forecast the time, how long something takes. That is really just hard. There are some approaches, and I will certainly look into that a little bit more to educate myself as well. But at the moment, what are we doing here on the Bitcoin chart? So we have broken out yesterday out of this triangle. We had a bit of a peak. It went all the way up to 31.4k in this target area. Told you that if we make a higher high here, the wave 4 high will wander from here to there. Until then, I had this alternative on the chart, which has now been invalidated, which would have been that we start here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and really finish that correction of the overall correction. I think there will be at least one more dump down. Now this has been invalidated because we made a higher high. That invalidated that 1, 2, because the wave 2 cannot go below or above the beginning of the wave 1. So therefore, we have the situation now that this here could now be the wave 4 peak, and we've already seen a fairly strong reaction to it. Engulfing red candle, another red candle here on the 4-hour chart, and we have come all the way down to 29.5k. That's support level that I did give you. Should we get rejected anywhere here, next support would be 29.5k. That is the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement level of that overall move down here, and that was the minimum target for a wave 4. Now we already did overshoot that slightly, and the ideal level, I've said that many times before, for a wave 4 is the 38.2% Fibonacci level. I would still expect that at 32.1k. We don't need to get there, but it would be likely. But we don't need to get there. We actually already spent some time here in this yellow target area for the wave 4. So at any point now we can move down. This really looks corrective again. And someone also said in the comments that could be a bear flag. Could be a bear flag. I agree, it could be, because we are coming down here quite, and let me take the fibs out. We were coming down here quite impulsively, and maybe even in the end, this here was not a triangle. These patterns sometimes shift, and this now is something like an ascending wedge, which more likely than not would actually break to the downside. Yeah, so yes, bearish flag after a downtrend, slight consolidation in an ascending wedge. An ascending wedge is a rather bearish pattern. Doesn't necessarily need to break to the downside, but it often does. More often than not, it does, and it would pretty much work very well with the Elliott Wave count here as well, where I see this wave 3 as complete, this wave 4 as possibly complete. Even if we extend this here, we could still move a little bit further in this ascending wedge. As you can see, we are far away from getting into some sort of an apex, so you know, we can certainly move a little bit longer, not too long, because as long as we move in these patterns, the more brittle they get, because more people see them, more people spot them, and it will just get too easy. Therefore, they are not going to work out forever. And at some point here, we are going to see a breakout. And again, likelihood here would be a breakout to the downside. We have just sort of to really explain, we've come down here in this impulsive move down. We've moved up as expected in a wave 4. We've come into this yellow target area for a wave 4. We can now move a little bit longer in this pattern, but I would expect here at some point in the yellow target area to reverse down to do the last major sell-off in a wave 5. That could be final capitulation, despair phase, whatever. And that could happen now at any time, yeah, and it would work quite well together with this pattern here, yeah. But even if we break out of the pattern to the upside, we would not invalidate any Elliott Wave count here. So we could even in this scenario here in this yellow target area, we could even move all the way up to 34.2, 34.3k before we reverse and then complete that correction here in this yellow target area. Where we are going to finish here various waves, a larger wave 2, a wave C, which is part of the wave 2, a wave 5, which is part of wave C, and that wave 5, which is part of that wave 5 as well. So we have here various waves which will finish, so that the end of the correction is near, in my opinion. Someone pointed out on Discord, you know, one of the channel members pointed out that I put that arrow here to indicate the next move up, and that is true. That was, I think, from a previous video where I showed you the price projection for the next larger wave up, which should take us way above 100k. But of course, just to avoid any misconceptions here and misunderstandings, I do not expect this to happen straight away. You know, it can take weeks. As I said, it can even take months for the low to be in. This is what is very hard to forecast. In the end, it took 6 months here to get into the target area. As I said, I don't think there will be a very long correction. That is only my view, but that is pretty much, yeah, it's not guaranteed, is it? It's not guaranteed. We could see another long bear market, absolutely. I know a lot of people expect that, but maybe exactly because of that, it is not going to happen. We have also expected 100k Bitcoin. A lot of people expected that, yeah. Didn't happen. In the end, this target area was reached. Yeah, so the correction started already. So it's often what most people expect is exactly what is not happening. And therefore, I think we are going to see another dump. We haven't seen capitulation yet. And there is just not quite enough fear in the market. And when all of that is done, when the low is in, we can see the recovery. Now, the recovery can also take a while, right? We could start to slowly go up, 35k. It can take weeks and weeks and weeks, you know. And maybe it will take until November, December until we've reached 40k again. So it just because the low it is in, it doesn't mean we have to be in a bear market. When prices already start to go up, the bear market would technically be over at some stage, yeah. But it could just take a long time until we really get to that breakout point from where it's going to go crazy again. So that is really what I don't know, what nobody knows really. It's just speculation. My view is it won't be a long bear market, and again, that's just my take on it. And the projection for the next wave up will be above 100k, but that won't happen next week, to be clear. All right, so hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.